Lena's grandmother had always warned her about the whispering man. He only comes when you're alone, her grandmother had said, her voice barely above a whisper. And if you hear him call your name, do not answer. Never answer. Lena used to roll her eyes at such superstitions. Old stories meant to scare children into obedience. But on the night she was left alone in the house, those words clawed their way back into her mind. Her parents had gone to visit relatives, leaving her behind with a pile of schoolwork and the dim hum of the rain tapping against the windows. By midnight, she was exhausted. She had been curled up on the couch, her laptop open, scrolling aimlessly. The TV was on, muted. She was about to go to bed when she heard it. A whisper, "Lena." Her body stiffened. The sound was so faint, so distant, she almost thought she had imagined it. Then it came again. "Lena." This time, she knew she wasn't imagining things. She swallowed hard and turned off the TV, listening. Silence. It must have been the wind, she told herself. The storm outside had picked up. The branches of the trees behind the house scraped against the roof like bony fingers. She turned off her laptop, grabbed her phone, and stood up. The hallway stretched into darkness. Something about the house felt wrong. She checked the front door. Locked. The windows. Locked. Everything was fine. She was just spooked. Then she heard it again. "Lena, come outside." This time, it was coming from the backyard. She crept toward the window, her breath shallow. She wiped the condensation from the glass with her sleeve and peered outside. The backyard was empty, just a pale stretch of wet grass bathed in the yellow glow of the porch light. Beyond that, the trees loomed in the darkness, their twisted limbs shuddering in the wind. And then she saw it. A tall, thin figure stood at the edge of the woods. Motionless, watching. Lena's breath hitched. The figure was indistinct, as though the shadows were swallowing it whole. It didn't move, but she could feel it staring at her. Then it took a step forward. She stumbled backward from the window, heart pounding. Her grandmother's warning burned in her mind. If you hear him call your name, do not answer. She hadn't answered. She was safe. Wasn't she? Then the whisper came again. Inside the house. "Lena." She spun around. The hallway behind her was dark. Silent. She clutched her phone, hands trembling. No signal. A floorboard creaked upstairs. Something was moving. Her breath came in shallow gasps. She could feel her pulse pounding in her ears. Another creak. Closer. Then soft footsteps. Someone was coming down the stairs. She took a step back, her legs weak, her mind screaming for her to run. Then she saw him. A figure, just barely visible in the dim glow of the hallway light. Tall, lanky, its face blurred like a smudge of static on a broken TV screen. And it was whispering her name. "Lena, come with me." Her fingers fumbled on her phone. No signal, no way to call for help. She turned, bolting toward the front door. Her hands clawed at the lock, twisting, pulling. Click. It wouldn't budge. The whisper came again. Closer. She whirled around. The figure was standing in the middle of the living room now, only a few feet away. "You shouldn't have listened," it whispered. The lights flickered. A shadow moved behind her. And then, everything went dark. The next morning, Lena's parents came home to find the front door wide open. The house was empty. No sign of Lena. Only the faintest echo of a whisper lingering in the air.